Hi, I'm Dr. Johnna B, occupational therapist, educator, and researcher, and this is OT Translated, translating occupational therapy for everyday education. If you're here, you're probably wondering, should I become an occupational therapist or an occupational therapy assistant, also known as a COTA? And that's a great question. Both are incredible roles, both make a huge impact, but they're not the same. So understanding the differences can help you to choose a path that fits your goals, fits your values, and fits your life. Today, we're going to be breaking down the education pathways. We'll talk vaguely about salary ranges. We'll talk about autonomy and job duties in real life, and we'll do a quick OT fit check to help you reflect on which path might work best for you. Let's dive in. We're going to start with just a big picture. So, an occupational therapist is a licensed healthcare provider who evaluates, treats, and creates care plans. They have more autonomy and leadership responsibilities, and they usually lead the team and supervise assistants. Certified occupational therapy assistants, also known as COTAs or OTAs, work collaboratively with an OT to provide direct care. They cannot evaluate or develop independent treatment plans, but they do work closely with clients and are incredibly hands-on with the interventions and the care plans on a daily basis. So think of it like this. If OT is a movie, the OT is the director and the COTA is the co-director who helps to make the vision happen every single day for our clients. To become an OT, you'll need a master's or a doctorate degree in occupational therapy. Yes, there are OTs out there today practicing with a bachelor's degree, but in the United States, any newly trained OTs can enter the profession with a graduate degree. It typically takes 6 to 7 years total, so that's 4 years of undergrad and then 2 to 3 years of OT school. That schooling will include clinical rotations, so you'll have level 1 and level 2 field works, you'll take a board exam, and you'll go through the licensure process for your state. It is more expensive and time intensive, but that comes with greater scope and autonomy. To become an occupational therapy assistant, you'll need an associate's degree from an accredited OTA program, usually 2 years total, which includes a lot of hands-on training and fieldwork opportunities. You are still required to pass the NBCOT licensure exam. It's just a different version than what OTs take. So if you want a quicker entry into the field, becoming a COTA or an OTA may be the faster, more accessible route. Next, let's talk numbers. Please do note that these numbers are going to vary a lot by region, setting, and experience, but here are some US averages. OTs on average make $75,000 to $100,000 a year. They oftentimes have more opportunities for leadership, private practice, consulting, or teaching, but along with that comes a higher debt load due to the graduate education that's required. For occupational therapy assistants, their average salary is $45,000 to $65,000. This comes with a lot less debt and quicker access to income and fewer administrative responsibilities. I've known in my own practice many occupational therapy assistants who have transitioned later in their career to roles as occupational therapists when they had more access to financial means to do so. But either are great roles and extremely fulfilling. Here's what the daily work of each role may look like. As an OT, you'll evaluate new clients, write and carry out new treatment plans, you'll coordinate care with families, teachers, and medical staff, you'll supervise assistants, handle more documentation and more of the case management, and oftentimes you're advocating for systems change and overall accessibility. As a COTA, you'll be implementing the treatment plans that are created by the OT. You'll work directly with the clients, extremely hands-on. You'll track progress and you'll report it back to the OT. And oftentimes you have really strong relationships with clients because of your consistency in sessions. It's often less paperwork and more activity focused. So if you love being hands-on and working closely with people and skipping the heavy admin work, you may thrive as an occupational therapy assistant. OTs are still very hands-on with clients, but the percentage of that time may differ between setting. But if you really want access to leadership, program design, clinical reasoning responsibilities, OT may be the better fit for you long term. All right, before we go, let's do a real quick OT fit check. You might thrive as an occupational therapist if you love big picture thinking, if you enjoy planning, leading, and creating systems, if you want more career flexibility and advancement, if you're okay with longer, more expensive education paths, and if you potentially feel called to advocate or to teach in the long run. You might thrive more as an occupational therapy assistant if you love working directly with people, if you prefer practical hands-on roles, if you want to get out into the field sooner, if you value flexibility, or if you want to work while you're raising a family, or if you want to make an impact without necessarily leading the team. And remember, neither is better. They're just different paths with different strengths. Occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants need each other to make this work. Whether you become an occupational therapist or an occupational therapy assistant, you're entering a deeply meaningful, client-centered profession that changes lives, one occupation at a time. Your choice depends on how much time you want to spend in school, how much responsibility you want to hold, how hands-on you want your work to be, and where you see yourself growing. Drop a comment below and let me know which path you're leaning towards and why. Let's talk about it. And if this video helped you at all understand the difference between occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants, please hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's exploring the OT field. Thanks for being here, and thanks for translating occupational therapy into everyday education with me. See you next video.